Hey everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. And I know I dropped the ball with the interview from XinFin. And I got busy, I got sidetracked, I'm sorry, but I am back in communication with them. They have my list of questions. I should have a date soon, so more to follow. This is the ecosystem that has the asset XDC. So please look forward to that. I'll let you know the date when I have it. Now, I received a comment yesterday, and I really do appreciate the skepticism. It was something that went in the line of that I'm pumping VET, V-E-T, which is Vechain, from an article that appeared on the Vechain Foundation. And I know that it's very, very good. It's to have this trait to double check, triple check, multiple sources to make sure that what you are reading is correct. You should never take a source and expect it to be valid. We just can't do it in this space. So those people who are just reading headlines or reading Twitter as if it is face value, you can't do it. I know it's good to use those news aggregators like cryptopanic.com, but if you don't do your own research beyond those headlines, you could find yourself really not fully understanding what the truth is. So the announcement that Vechain gave from the foundation was that the Vechain tool was going to power this unique tag and then onboard China's top spirit players, and that meaning the liquor, to trace their supply with a company called Yanghu, which uses the RFID labels from Ubique tag. So I did my research today, and of course I wandered, as I usually do when I research, and I just wanted to just look at the kanji characters for that company to see what it was. In Japanese, the two kanji characters for Yanghu means like kind of western river. To say it in Japanese, it is like this. I mean, to say it in Chinese, it's like this.
Yanghe.
If you were in the Netherlands, you might hear
Yange.
And if you were in Norway,
Yanghe.
And if you were in a Spanish-speaking country,
Jiange.
Wow. So this is a typical example of how I sometimes just wander off. But that company that is using the RFID is very interesting. They have been distilling this baijiu, which is very much like the Japanese shochu, for 1,200 years. Something I think I would really like to taste. When I go to this Yanghu website, it does say that they did pilot this traceability system with the RFID, passing the Ministry of Commerce acceptance. I can't find where Vechain is mentioned on here, but I did find an independent article not citing the Vechain Foundation in the announcement that came out on the 15th of October. And then in doing so, I just learned, wow, this is a business model that is really working in China. This is another business that tracks the liquor on the blockchain, and it's another brand of baijiu. They're doing it with a digital certificate by the Wuling Ye company, which in 2017 teamed up with IBM to advance the liquor makers' digitization. So this business model is really, really working and solving a problem in trying to stop the fakes being passed off as the real thing. Another Vechain announcement from the foundation just 17 hours ago is regarding this Renji hospital affiliated with the Shanghai Jiaotong University School of Medicine to launch the world's first blockchain intelligent tumor treatment center with a traceable medical management solution by Vechain toolchain. And I think they put a picture here is Sunny Liu, the CEO of Vechain here on the left. So I am going to take that advice from the comment that was left in the video yesterday, and I'm going to just double check. And I did find that Renji Hospital was the first Western hospital in Shanghai, and Vechain has been working with the hospital on another basis of an application that they had. This is announcement on the University School of Medicine's website back in May 2019. And as far as the announcement for the cancer treatment tumor application, this is the People's Daily. It's the largest newspaper group in China. It's an official newspaper of the committee, and it published the Vechain news on the 20th. So I do want to thank that person for leaving that comment, because I never want to be one that is just reading headlines. And I think that everybody is also welcome to have their own opinion. We can come down and we can see that the Vechain mention is right there. So I will now move to an interview that took place on the 21st. If you're an XRP holder, you might have seen some sliced and diced versions of this on Twitter, and those were good, but I think you should listen to the entire conversation that took place. The questions were superb, and there's a lot of information to be had, so I'm going to let you listen to this, and then we'll jump into the fluff.
Let me start with PayPal and this huge jump that we've seen in cryptocurrencies. How much of this is really to do with the broader global pandemic and these huge changes that we've seen in spending patterns?
Well, it's clear that the pandemic has in some ways really put a tailwind behind what's going on in the crypto markets. One example, frankly, is when you print lots of additional fiat currency, as we have seen here in the United States with the stimulus, that is inflationary in some level. And so you've seen the crypto market overall increase by about 90% this year. And gold, obviously, as another proxy for inflation, has obviously performed really well. The move away from cash as part of the pandemic certainly also helps. And I think, things like what PayPal is doing are indicative of a macro trend that I think is going to continue.
Are you expecting it to see being used more transactions from merchants and actual commercial use instead of just transactions related to exchanges and speculation?
I think that is a critical point, and I think that if it's just about speculation, if it's just about trading, then it's not actually solving the problem. I think the long-term value of any cryptocurrency is going to be derived from what utility it's delivering. And so it could be that in some markets where their fiat currency isn't as strong as, let's say, the dollar or the yen or the euro, that you might see cryptocurrencies actually used for traditional transactions, consumer transactions. In most of the major kind of G20 markets, I think it's still early for that. But what you saw on the news from PayPal is indicative of the continued inroads that crypto is making progress.
Where's the regulatory oversight at the moment, Brad? Because we're hearing that the US regulators have been talking to Ripple. Can you give us an indication of whether those conversations have happened and what was being asked?
Yeah, the regulatory environment on a global basis, you see countries like Japan and countries like the UK and Singapore have really clear regulatory dynamics as it relates to cryptocurrencies. And that helps the investment. It helps companies with certainty know how to invest and how to build their company. In the United States, you have competing and, frankly, different regulatory environments. You've got some that would say cryptocurrency is a commodity. Some would say it's a currency. Others would say it's a property. And then you also have some that say some cryptocurrencies are securities. That makes it hard. Regulation shouldn't be a guessing game. Ripple's definitely a proud U.S. company, and we'd like to stay in the U.S. if that was possible. but we also need regulatory clarity in order for us to invest and grow the business.
So have you had these conversations, and is it likely that you'll get the green light the same way that we've seen with Ethereum, or are these conversations ongoing?
They are certainly ongoing. Ripple has been talking to regulators around the world for years, and that's true here in the United States as well. I mean, really what we seek is a level playing field. You have two technologies in Bitcoin and Ether, both ironically controlled by Chinese miners. And, I think that what we haven't seen the U.S. do is to provide a level playing field the way the Japanese government has and the way the UK government has. And so in many ways, I think the US government's been kind of out of sync because you do have different pockets of regulation from different parts of the government.
I'm getting from what you're saying that very much options to move to a different jurisdiction would be on the table. Are you serious about making Japan the new home for Ripple?
Japan has been one of our strongest markets. We have a very successful partnership there with a group called SBI. They're actually our largest outside investor, and the CEO there, Katao-san, has been an innovator and pioneer in a whole lot of things around finance and technology or fintech. So certainly Japan is one of the markets we're looking at because there is clarity, and I think really Japan was on the leading edge back in 2017, providing a taxonomy to help companies and to help all of the regulators understand how they were going to look at different cryptocurrencies.
So you've started talking to, say, the Financial Services Agency in Japan?
Well, I'm not prepared to talk publicly about the different conversations we're having around the world yet, but suffice it to say, I think Japan is one of the countries where we think there is clarity and there has been specificity, and that clarity allows us to engage. And our goal from the start has not been to circumvent any regulation, but we can't have it as a guessing game and knowing how the regulation is going to play out. And that's kind of what we're seeing here in the United States.
Talking about clarity, some investors feel like, you owning a lion's share of XRPs, that gives you sort of an opportunity for market manipulation. Any chance that you might change how the company funds that and holds the reserve coins?
We actually years ago, we put well over 90% of the XRP that Ripple owns into escrow accounts that we can't access. And so this is one of those kind of what I call FUD, where people put things out there that, without total understanding of what's going on in the market. There really isn't a risk because of how these escrows are structured, for Ripple to do anything that would actually be bad for the market. And obviously, it's not in our best interest to do so. We are a major holder of XRP, and we want to see it as a highly liquid, delivering a lot of utility. We deploy the XRP to solve a cross-border payments problem. We've been very successful with that. We've got a couple hundred customers we signed up around the world, and including customers using XRP to manage real-time cross-border payments.
What would make you change the way that you fund the company in that case?
Well, we're funding the company very successfully. We have a mixture of revenue from software sales, from transaction revenue. XRP has historically been a piece, but today, actually, Ripple doesn't sell any XRP through what we call programmatic trading. We only sell it as part of the product and the product experience.
Brad, I'm wondering how much deployment is actually happening from mainstream financial institutions, from companies in the adoption of Ripple?
We have been super lucky, and including during the quarantine, we've signed up about 2 new production contracts every week on average. So that's continued to grow nicely. We have publicly shared that we've done, about $7 billion worth of transactions recently. So we feel like we're going to continue to see a lot of growth, even relative to last year, even though the quarantine, I think, has slowed down our growth, but we're still going to be up about 400 or 500% on a year-on-year basis as compared to traffic across RippleNet that we saw last year.
Are you disappointed that PayPal is not offering Ripple?
Well, I think you probably mean they're not offering XRP. I mean, Ripple, just to make sure everyone's clear, Ripple is a private company. You can buy shares in Ripple, hypothetically, but XRP is an open source decentralized technology. PayPal, I think, has said they plan to go live with Bitcoin and Ether. And part of that goes back to the regulatory clarity. If you are a company looking at investing in or building upon a technology like XRP or like other digital assets, if there's not regulatory clarity, then you're likely to go with the ones that are clear. And that's what you've seen, I think, not just with PayPal, but certainly others in the marketplace that say, I'm going to start with Bitcoin and Ether because they have kind of the good housekeeping seal of approval in the United States. In other countries, frankly, like Japan, you see a much broader base where there is a level playing field, and you see multiple participants and achieving success in that market.
There you have it. Gosh, they're mentioning Japan a lot. I don't know. I just can't imagine that they do their registry here, but we just have to wait and see what they plan. Okay, we're jumping to some fluff. So today, the official opening of the Olympic pool took place, and I learned this is a first of its kind, state-of-the-art pool that can be divided. The walls are movable, so you can take this 50 yards and turn it into two 25-yard pools. Very interesting. I'd like to see that in the works. And yes, it is official. We have 5G in Tokyo, and the new iPhones have come out. I'm going to get one. Yeah, for sure. I don't know which one I'm going to get. It's the iPhone 12, and there is also a mini version. I don't know. I have to take a look at them in person, but the 5G was demonstrated on the news last night with a telemedicine echo examination video. It was such high quality and could stream that the doctor could actually give the examination remotely in real time. So this is going to really be a world-changing advance, this 5G. All right, everybody. Yes, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.